Let's go.
Are you ready to go?
Yep,
Yeah,
I'm already ready.
Yeah, sure. I got my story out. Thanks for listening.
Let me take off my glasses so it doesn't reflect. My cheeks are so shiny. Let's get out of the shower.
You're all sparkly clean.
Oh, sparkly, squiggly clean.
Squeaky clean.
My wet hair is turning into curls.
Unlike the lava in the episode.
I know.
All right, let's talk about some hot stuff.
Hot stuff.
Welcome to the Artie's Attic Warehouse 13 Fancast, where a steampunk girl, a lifelong sci-fi fan, and a rocket scientist chat about the popular 2009 sci-fi series. There's never a dull moment with the agents dedicated to protect humankind from unexplained phenomena that manifest their powers in special objects. And there's all those friendships and relationships along the way. Grab a cookie while you can. Hope you don't smell fudge. Gear up with your Farnsworth, Tesla, and Neutralizer, and let's have some fun by snagging it, bagging it, and tagging it.
Welcome back to Artie's Attic. We're a Warehouse 13 fan cast. I'm the Warehouse 13 janitor, currently searching the internet for the word bust with safe search turned off.
Very good.
My name is SP. And introducing Artie's Attic lead agent and historian, who back in 1979 was a wild little girl throwing cherry bombs, it's Agent Shannon.
What's up, guys? Considering I was 3 then, I don't know what kind of bombs I could throw, right? Poop bombs.
It's like a monkey.
And also returning is the warehouse agent who idolizes movies with Tommy Lee Jones and Harrison Ford while hoping for a giant lava monster escaping the Earth's core. It's Agent Carolyn.
And every hen house and dog house and... I gotta watch that movie at least once a year.
Love that. Yeah.
I actually got the quote. You want to hear the quote?
Go for it.
Absolutely.
All right, listen up, ladies and gentlemen. Our fugitive has been on the run for 90 minutes. Average foot speed over uneven ground, barring injuries, is 4 miles per hour. That gives us a radius of 6 miles. What I want from each and every one of you is a hard target search of every gas station, residence, warehouse, farmhouse, hen house, outhouse, and doghouse in that area. Checkpoints go up at 15 miles. Your fugitive's name is Dr. Richard Kimball. Go get him.
I love that movie.
It was a very good, very well done movie, yes.
I love Tommy Lee Jones.
It's been a long time since I watched it. Now I got to go watch it this weekend.
I know.
There will be a fugitive
but
watching.
I like Harrison Ford too, so I mean.
It made me think about it. I was like, I need to watch that movie again.
Ooh, 1923 comes back out tomorrow with him in it.
There's lots of Harrison Ford. He was in the movie that came out last weekend too. Captain America.
I know. I want to see that.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, lots of stuff.
Seen that yet.
All right, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about Warehouse 13. And we are continuing our Warehouse 13 series discussion with the episode that premiered on Monday, June 10th, 2013. 9 months before CarPlay was introduced at the 2014 Geneva Motor Show. And 21 months before Android Auto was released to the public, making Toyota Entune all but forgotten multimedia car audio capability.
And 1 day before Bear was born.
Oh.
June 11, 2013 was hers.
All right.
That's a very important day.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm referring to the Warehouse 13 Season 4 16th episode, Runaway. The TVGuide.com description reads, when a volcanic event at an Arkansas state prison allows 2 inmates to escape, Pete, Micah, and Steve must partner with a U.S. Marshal to track down the fugitives. Shannon, I know you've been looking forward to this. We talked about it before, but you've been looking forward to this for years.
Looking forward to what?
This episode.
This episode.
Yeah.
I like this episode. There's a lot of growth in this episode. You get to see Steve, who's had a relationship with this Liam. It's kind of cute. You get to see he's finally embarrassed, right? He's finally like, can you not?
Can we talk about this when I'm dead?
I liked both the B and the A movie and the A side of it. I like that Artie's trying to throw Claudia a birthday party for her 21st birthday party. And I liked how Micah was like, that's too young for her. She doesn't need clowns. She's, a woman now.
I love that it was always focusing around clowns. Don't do the clowns, Artie. And he never said he was not going to do clowns. He never confirmed no clowns. Right. It was just hilarious.
And then you had the whole gigantic, guest star at the end. Which I love because you finally get to see Allison's contribute right to the series because she's actually friends with her. She's actually a guitar player and a singer. I mean, this was a cool all-around episode.
Yeah, Cherrie Curry's actually been in a few things, mostly as herself, but she's been in some acting things. She started out with music videos, go figure, that's in IMDb. In 1976 was the Runaways Cherry Bomb video. And then she's also been in an episode of Murder, She Wrote, 3 episodes of Matlock, of course, this episode of Warehouse 13. And they're all mostly as self. Sometimes she plays something, but she has, video credits and credits showing up at talk shows and stuff like that. So she's no stranger to the screen, that's for sure. And it was interesting seeing her up there at the end.
I think it connect her to the Bengals. Want to know how?
Sure.
Michael Steele, the girl that was the bassist for the Bengals, originally started in the Runaways with her and Lita Ford and Joan Jett.
Yep. Wow. Look at that.
Bengals.
I did thought it was funny at the end when she's very excited about her birthday present. And Pete was like, how do you know her? Oh, well, I saved her life.
You're an onion.
That's awesome.
You're an onion of mystery.
No idea.
You have no idea. Yeah, that was...
You have no idea.
And he just looked smug.
From my point of view, Micah was looking rather hot in that white t-shirt. Just saying. Like when she's
jumping look good in that t-shirt.
I know, from jumping from top of... yeah, I was focused.
I was actually hoping there was some
I was focused.
slippage of material.
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, or a rainstorm or something,
Yes.
I'm sure.
Laser beam.
I did find the whole Artie and wanting to throw her a birthday party thing very cute. He had his face when he was like so excited that he got Jerry Garcia's blacklight to enhance any picture so that he had everything set up so cutely for her, Claudia for her birthday. It was that whole storyline. I loved that whole storyline and how she was trying to help save his hearing and their storyline. I liked that storyline a lot.
If you're getting hit that many times with the ball, and wouldn't you just move your head or something? Why you got to sit there and take it?
Probably he was too stunned and he's like, what do I gotta... Did we know what the ball was? I mean, I know we know the clock was Beethoven's clock, but whose ball was it? Did we know? No, the rubber bouncy ball.
Slapping him in the face.
The rubber bouncy ball.
I like how you dictate that.
Yeah, it was the original bouncing ball, and it's filled with energy of about 1 billion sing-alongs. If disturbed, it bounces uncontrollably, making it incredibly hard to follow. That's all I got.
Okay. Well, it did bounce several times between his head and the Beethoven clock.
Balls bounce in his face.
Did you see the Beethoven's clock? It was like...
Yeah, it was like... It gave him like a in the face. And it's funny that...
Yeah.
That's funny that is what triggered it to cause him to hear Beethoven's Fifth Symphony and then subsequently lose his hearing.
Yeah, and do you get either of you two have tinnitus?
I may have small. It's never been diagnosed, but I can sometimes hear ringing in my ears. Yes,
I do too. But if you don't hear it constantly, do you still have it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's still there. I hear it constantly, by the way, now. I didn't used to in my youth, but as I've gotten older, it's gotten much worse. And there are frequencies I can't hear anymore. I am really looking forward to like earbuds that can do active cancellation and supposedly take it out. There are hearing aids that supposedly can do that now too. So even if you don't need the hearing aid, you can get rid of the tinnitus, which is very, very much what I would like to do because it is annoying.
So it's constant ringing?
Yeah, it's just this constant
hum.
It's like a white noise for me. Yeah. Just
can the new Apple AirBuds, the noise canceling ones that you can use as hearing aids too, can they help with that, you think?
Allegedly, I haven't tried them, but I have heard, and I've heard that capability isn't out yet. Like it is coming, but it's not out. I don't know exactly things. I also think it is with just the normal AirPods and not the AirPod Pros, and I like the AirPod Pros more than I like the AirPods. So
no, I think it's the AirPod, not the ones that encompass your ears like your guys' headphones, but the ones that have active, the more expensive ones, the upper ended earpod ones.
Yeah, there's two types. There's the AirPods and the AirPod Pros, and neither of them are the over the ear.
Right, it's the AirPod Pros, I think.
AirPod Pros 3s, as we record this in February of 2025, have not come out yet. However, the AirPod, I believe 4s are out, and I think they are capable of that technology.
I'll look it up because I know that I was thinking of.
Hey, do you have Safe Search on?
What search?
You have Safe Search on?
Safe Search. So
well, I'm not looking up bust, so I should.
Don't be looking up slapping balls either.
No,
all sorts of things.
Bouncing, not slapping, bouncing balls.
Yes.
Yeah,
as she's looking that up, I will just iterate that this was directed by a new director, Matthew Hastings. He has 23 directing credits starting in 2000, including an episode of Flash Gordon, 9 episodes of Eureka, mostly in season 4, although there's some 5 and 3s in there. 3 episodes of Alphas. I know everybody here liked Alphas.
Yeah. I liked Alphas, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Only this one episode of Warehouse 13, so this is the only time we get to see Matthew's work. An episode of Cloak and Dagger, 10 episodes of Shadow Hunters. I have not seen Shadow Hunters, but it sounds like something that Shannon would have seen.
I have seen 1 or 2 episodes of it, and then I forgot to go back. So I don't know. It's very much like Lord of the Rings, kind of, but more modern.
Okay. Is there a lot of walking and rings?
You're funny. You're funny. Haha.
There's something else that it reminds me of too. What was the one I told you that had Hazy Shade of Winter in it? Oh, Wheel of Time.
Oh yeah,
kind of reminds me of that.
Wheel of Time, yeah. Which I still haven't seen beyond the first episode, so I need to get into that. Season. Yeah, I've been a little bit busy. The work has gotten more and more busy, so
yeah. I've been a little busy
tangent about that. You said you need to see the second season was very hard for me to get into. Very hard. The writer's strike happened around that time, and I was like, how am I going to get past the second episode? But I pushed through. So now the 3rd season's out. But anyways.
Okay. To close out Matthew Hastings, he has 3 other shows that looked interesting, but I hadn't seen them. One called Spinning Out. Okay. One called Circuit Breakers.
That sounds familiar. What's that on?
I don't know. and one called Fallen. Again, I don't know any of those 3, but I'm guessing somebody listening to this has. Anyway, that's Matthew Hastings. And it was written by Mark Franklin Williams. And he had 9 writing credits, 2 episodes of Warehouse 13 Grand Designs, this episode of Warehouse 13, an episode of Outlander.
Grand Design.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Shannon, Outlander.
One episode.
I like Great Design. Grand Designs.
Grand Designs, yeah. We've seen that because I sent you guys the links for both the series that were done outside of this. And then 1 episode of The Legend of Vox Machina. Now, Carolyn, did I buy you enough time?
Yes.
Okay.
I did find them. They are the Apple AirPod Pro 2s. They have clinical grade hearing aid feature.
Really?
So, yep. I sent you the link in the chat thing.
I've got them right here. So I'll have to.
Apple AirPod Pro 2s?
Yep, these are 2s.
Oh.
I actually have the ones.
They're the ones that have the little thingy, the squishy thingy that go inside your ear. They don't look like those. They don't look like this. They look like that.
Yeah.
For people that are listening to this and then wondering what we're talking about, we have a YouTube channel and you can go see what we're actually pointing at.
Yes.
Sorry. For those listening, I'm sorry. Go to apple.com.
Yeah, you can just look it up on the internet. Turn your safe search on. Safe search.
Turn safe search on.
I need those AirPods that translate for you. So I can, like, when Sasha's like, her and her mom are talking, I'm like, I'm just going to set this up.
That's Google Translate. I mean,
you can turn the translate on your phone.
Yeah, you can.
They have these things
I don't know if it'll
I've seen
catch it fast enough.
where you can listen to what they're saying to, and it translates in your ear.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's almost like Universal Translator, like we can almost talk in like
it's
Star
more like
Trek
a babble fish than anything else. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which I didn't remember in another podcast recently, but yeah, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I haven't seen that in forever.
So let's talk about other things like Jinxie's boyfriend.
And Pete saying he's hunky. I knew I was your type. And
no, he's not. Oh yeah, he's hunky.
No, he's not. Yes, he's very hunky. I knew I was your type.
Just square.
I like. Do we need to hate him? I mean, we can hate him if you need us to hate him. We can totally hate him. I'll defending him. So some of those things were some of my favorite parts. Do we need to hate him? I'll totally hate him if you want me to hate him.
Right after kind of gushing about him, they're like, "Oh, do we need to hate him? Are we there now?"
Total best friends right there. Any good friend would do that. Who do I need to beat up? Let's go.
Yeah.
Charlie Liam was played by Charlie Weber.
He is pretty hunky, by the way. I liked him.
44 acting credits since 2000. He started, I think his first credit was the Drew Carey Show. So kudos to that. Yeah. Cleveland Rocks, I believe, is the saying, right?
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
All right. 14 episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I did not write down his character name, but he got 14 episodes there. 1 episode of Charm, the good one, not the bad one.
That's a great distinction there.
Yeah.
Yeah. The horrible one and then the good one.
5 episodes of Everwood, and I think we've discussed that before, Shannon. I don't think you've seen it, but it sounds like something that you would watch.
It sounds like something I would, but I haven't heard of it.
2 episodes of Burn Notice, so favorite of mine, right? 12 episodes of the series that I've never heard of, Underemployed. Have you either of you two heard?
Okay. No.
And then this 1 episode of Warehouse 13. So Charlie's been in a thing or two, and I think he played a great counter to Jinx
definitely
in this. Yeah.
I love how they when they were first meeting him at the prison, and what did he call Jersey? He goes, Jersey, and then he starts to give him a hug, and Jinx is like, nope.
Standoffish.
Denied.
Yep.
It's like the time that
holds out his hand.
My ex tried to hug me. I'm like, no.
You're like, excuse me.
Boundaries.
Your space, my space. Your space, my space. Ooh, what's that from?
I don't
Farscape.
Know. Oh. I've not seen all of Farscape.
I haven't seen Farscape in such a long time.
Such a good series. Such a good series. Sorry.
Yeah.
Tangent.
That's all right. That's what we're about. Tangents.
I just saw it recently on a commercial for on one of the. I
Farscape?
can't remember which medium it was. I don't know if it was Disney.
I don't think it's not
Hulu.
Disney.
It might be Hulu.
It might be.
Well,
I know it's Jim Henson production. That was the original reason I watched it.
Which is
it was
owned by
Jim Henson.
Disney now. It's probably Disney because of all the Henson stuff.
It might be on an HBO Max because we've been watching the Vampire Diaries a lot. And
okay.
I think one of the commercials came through, and I remember telling her about it. I just don't remember what outlet we're on.
It is a very good series. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
So their interaction
and the movies
back and forth. You could tell that you wouldn't want them together long term, but you could tell that they had good and bad history together.
Well, apparently they had a good goodbye.
They had a really good goodbye. Mm-hmm.
I loved how animated that Claudia got at the end when they were talking about that. And talking about that, by the way, he sat down, he gave her a present. We never saw what the present was.
Right? Was it the keys to the car that he drove up? That's what I'm wondering. Because he came up and he's like, this red is definitely a better color. But, was that was one of my questions was, is it the car? Did he just buy her a car? Because he totally trashed the other one in the lava garage.
Yeah, but that was his car, so he needed a new car. Yeah.
I think it was like their car, like it's a warehouse car.
It was always his car.
Was it?
I think the bigger question you need to ask yourself, did y'all see her like twist his nipple there?
No.
Yeah, when she's like, tell the bestie, and she's like doing this to his chest. Is like right there, like, what kind of a bestie are you?
I did not see that. No, I did not catch that. Now I will totally need to
go back and watch that. I mean, it wasn't doing the fingers, but she was doing the motion right there on his chest. Like, ha, you should have been telling me everything, right?
She's bad gay bestie.
I am like, my gay bestie doesn't do that, but
By the way, there was a heck of a lot of Toyota shilling in this episode. Oh my gosh. The end tune, which I mentioned in the intro, nobody cares about end tune. They just care about CarPlay or Android Auto. And then there was the two Priuses, and then they showed the Highlander again. If you haven't noticed, they haven't been showing the Highlander in every episode anymore. So the Highlander came back for this episode. So obviously got some sponsor
they got some money, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, they definitely were a sponsor of this episode.
You could tell because he specifically said, "Oh, we can catch the game on N-Tune." I'm like,
I know
it's the radio. Don't worry about it. And then they had that long shot of the new car at the end,
where he's like,
yeah, but then he walks away, and instead of following him like you should, it was just on the car for 15 seconds.
Let's look at this. And tonight's episode is brought to you by shameless sponsors.
I did. It was funny. The long drive that he and his ex had to go to the safe house. He's like, well, you always lied to me. No one wants the truth all the time. He's like, maybe I do. He's like, okay, well, your tea stinks like cat pee. No one looks good in skinny jeans. What was that? I forgot the other one, but
your lasagna's bad.
Oh, lasagna was the only thing you could cook. Yeah, that was it.
He said it was bad.
It was the only thing. He couldn't cook lasagna. He didn't like it.
Oh, I thought that was the only thing he could cook.
Yeah, he didn't like his lasagna. His teeth smell like cat pee, and he doesn't look good in skinny jeans.
And no one looks good in skinny jeans.
Except
for at the end, he said.
Huh?
Who was it?
Huh?
I don't remember.
Well, no. In the first time he was telling him, he's like, you don't look good in skinny jeans.
Yeah.
Yes.
The second time, he's like, and to be fair, no one looks good in skinny jeans.
And then he said, but see, you're lying again. And then he's like, okay, I forgot who he said looked good in skinny jeans.
I forgot too. So I was hoping somebody would remember.
Well, maybe that's somebody the listeners can give us that feedback. Somebody can tell us.
Yeah. Warehouse13fancast@gmail.com.
Yes, please remind us.
Shameless.
Shameless plug. Please.
Get in right there. Just don't search for the balls.
Yes, make sure safe search is on. I did like that Claudia was like, oh, okay, so we just need to search for the bust. He's like, oh, that's a needle in a haystack. She's like, you taught me well, Sensei. She does this beep, 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 search on her computer and see? And then he did something about some kind of clown that died in a year. She's like, she just looks at him like, do not get me a clown.
It was 79. Yeah. So question for you guys. Part of the clock ended up in the warehouse and part of it didn't. That's unusual. I mean, if the artifact works together, you would think that both pieces would be in the warehouse.
Yeah. So how did it get activated without both pieces?
Yeah.
Maybe it's been activated this entire time and it hasn't been shut off because they didn't have both pieces. It was a byproduct.
Then somebody should have been hearing the music and gone deaf already, you would think. Whoever snag bagged and tagged it the first time.
Well, I mean, it's like or
did it go missing?
Remember the two statues with the heads swapped sometimes?
Yeah, the griffins, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they were a byproduct. So they weren't, even when they thought they had one and they put it up on the shelf, it wasn't deactivated because the other part was still out in the world. So, I mean, I don't think it would harm them. I don't think you'd hear the Beethoven playing all the time unless you were around it or touched it. And the ball clearly touched it.
That's true. That's a possibility.
Ball was bouncing off of it.
Yeah, and Artie's head.
Several
Artie's
times.
head. So, I don't know, maybe it wasn't activated until that moment. And because it touched the artifact and it touched his head because you don't wear gloves on your head, then it activated with him.
And it didn't deactivate when they gooed it because it doesn't have both pieces.
Because if you're doing inventory, you're moving it with the gloves on.
It's true.
No glove, no love on your forehead.
But I'm wondering, the first person that snag bagged and tagged it, did they go deaf?
No.
No, because they wouldn't have touched it. Okay, so never mind. I don't know.
Just the people who they snatched it from.
But how would you know it's an artifact if you only had half of it?
Bubble guppies.
All right. Because of plot.
Bubble guppies. They had to have something. I did think it was funny when they were searching for it with Bluto, the guy who had the shirt on that said something like, "You're an idiot," or something like that.
That was one of my favorite parts. He's like, "Don't make me stab you again."
Oh, that was so funny.
One of my favorite parts in time. Don't make me stab you again. He's like, that's not funny.
That's not even remotely funny.
Was that a better favorite part to you than the cherry bomb at the end?
Nah. I only like the end because I like that you get to see Allison's talent.
Yeah.
I like that Claudia's happy, but Allison's talent is what was up there.
All right.
And because of that, they became friends.
All right. So your favorite part is "Don't make me stab you again."
Yeah, that's pretty good. Other than Micah walking
that was a pretty good.
I love the view with Micah, like when she's walking with Liam.
Yeah.
But, I'm not looking at him. Yeah. I'm looking at her swinging her hips with the gun on her hip. With the gun and the white t-shirt. I was focused.
I like that scene because she was trying to claim that Jinx had been dating a lot.
I know.
Yeah.
And Liam saw right through it.
He's like, "Really?" And her last boyfriend, and the guy that he's just talking about's name was crap.
But then he's like, I like that he has good friends looking out for him.
Yeah.
On both sides. Yeah.
I think that was one of my favorite scenes when when Micah discovered, "Oh my God, he's your ex." And then they had that whole discussion, like, why would he dump you? You're a catch. I mean, you do all these things. You love guns. You're amazing. You're hot. Why would they dump you? And they're like completely defending him. I was like, "Aw, that's cute." Not my absolute favorite scene, but it was one of them. Yes.
Okay. At the end, they kind of doubled down when Pete was talking about, I wonder what they're talking about. They list a few things. I just remember the last
ammo.
one. And guns, ammo. Gladiator movies.
Gladiator movies? Of course,
Micah's
Pete thinks that way. I hope those two crazy kids get back together.
So, Carolyn, what was your favorite scene if that wasn't your favorite scene?
I think one of them was definitely how excited Artie got to put together the whole Cherry Garcia black light and the pictures that would move, and then Claudia coming in and she's like, you can't hide things behind glass doors. And then she sees everything and she's like, "Aw,
like, trying to hide it."
That's so sweet. That's so sweet of you to do these things.
And they never got a chance to have the party.
No, but I think she said that those posters were going to go up in her walls.
Oh.
And then Artie was like, "I have all this music, these finals."
I'm going to assume that Micah finally talked about it. Let's do something more big girl.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you were like
big
gesturing. Girl. Okay. It's PG. It's PG.
This is a PG podcast.
It's like my shirt. Cheap girl.
Cheap girl.
Tattoos, pretty eyes, and thick thighs.
There you go.
What about you, SP?
My favorite, I had 3 picked, and you guys got a hit on 2 of them already. The one that I was going to choose was "Don't Make Me Stab You Again." So that was so good.
That was another favorite, yeah.
But another favorite I had was when they were in the jail cell and Pete was looking for the Shawshank Tunnel.
Oh God, that made me laugh so much. That whole scene actually was another one, like Pete trying to be all touchy-feely with Jinx. He's like, I've been trying to get in touch with my sensitive side. I've been through this too. You can talk to me. And I'm like, oh God, Pete.
Yeah, with his ex and
Shut
stuff.
up.
He has been, by the way, this whole season, he has been more sensitive. So I don't know if that's something that they wrote into the character, or if that's something that he wanted to do with the character, or if it was just happenstance that he's had a couple of stories like that in this season. But yeah, he has been softer, gentler, more caring sort of thing. And that is definitely Eddie.
Well, and that's also going to play into the next big storyline that we get.
Yeah. And well, by the way, the warehouse, just a little note here, the warehouse is still having rumbles. So
yeah,
noted.
Still having earthquake issues.
Yeah.
Anyway, please continue with your favorite part. I interrupted you. Apologies.
Yeah, it was just for Pete looking for the Shawshank tunnel, and he was like punching the wall. Ow.
What? Do you know about Shawshank?
Oh, and the poetry. This is why I hate poetry. It makes no sense. Poetry sucks.
That's a bad prison check when they're not even catching his cipher in there.
Yeah, so I kind of lost track of who was who, like who the dad was and who the leader of the Turks was and stuff like that. I just...
Barton was the dad.
Okay.
I think. And...
Oh, that was another favorite part.
He wasn't the one that was supposed to be getting out with the dude that was with the girl. So Barton was the father, and he went with the black dude, right? So, but he wasn't the one that was supposed to go out with them. The other guy that they questioned him. So,
right.
So was the black dude Ronnie Rowe or Rick Davis? Rick Davis, does that name sound familiar?
He looked familiar, and I was trying to. I knew you would like tell me his IMDb afterwards because he looked familiar, like some kind of sci-fi.
The father looked familiar too.
Yes, he should too. So let's go with the father, Joe Barton. He was played by Vladimir John Kubert, and it's
easy for you to say.
Cubrt. I don't know if that's a misspelling or not, but that's what's written down here. It's got 40 acting credits since 1995. An episode of the Hardy Boys. I put on, kudos to him for being in that. An episode of Earth: The Final Conflict. I don't know if either you two have seen that or not.
Show.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think I've seen the whole thing, but I've seen several episodes.
I know neither of you have seen this because we talked about it before, but he was in 4 episodes of Odyssey 5. And that's with the guy who played RoboCop. What's his name?
Peter Weller.
Peter Weller. So he played in that 4 episodes. An episode, and I don't know who he played, but an episode of Lost Girl. So he's in that. An episode of Nikita.
Played a red shirt.
Yeah, probably. An episode of Nikita. An episode of Covert Affairs. This episode of Warehouse 13. And this is where he'll get a lot of kudos. I don't know what character he played, but 10 episodes of Hannibal.
Never saw it.
I never saw it either, but I know
Covert
it was.
Affairs is good.
Yeah,
I like that.
He was also in 1 episode of Designated Survivor, which was big when it was on TV, but I don't know if it was one of the TV ones. But it got cut and then it streamed only for the last season or 2, and so I don't know which episode he was in. I have not seen the end of that. Once it left TV, I was done with it.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up with it when it does that.
Yeah, so that's the dad. I could be wrong because I have 2 people here left, but Rick Davis, I think he was the other guy that they were talking about, is played by Ronnie Rowe, and he has 47 acting credits starting in 2003. This episode of Warehouse 13, an episode of The Expanse. Again, I'm sorry, I don't have the character name, but an episode of The Expanse. 2 episodes of Dark Matter. He played Coombs, if you remember that character.
I think
but this is probably where you've seen him. 41 episodes of Disco.
Oh, okay. Now my brain knows why I know
the
him.
black guy that died in the lava?
Yes.
I think so. Lieutenant Commander Bryce.
Yep, that's why I know his face.
Screen very long for me to recognize his face.
I know is not so. I didn't concentrate on any of the gangs. It wasn't really important to the story at all.
No,
so
it was kind of a side of the story.
There was another actor that played Oscar It was played by Tim Campbell, who has 44 acting credits since 2005. A few things like an episode of Lost Girl, Nikita, Warehouse 13. I don't know. To be honest with you.
He was the guy that told the kid to kill the cop. I think he was the
gang leader?
I think he was the gang leader.
Okay. So he's in 3 episodes of The Expanse. Probably played one of the belters.
Played the belters. Yeah. He looked like a belter.
The leader. How could he be the leader of a gang when your name is Oscar?
I mean, Oscar the Grouch had it going on.
Yeah. I mean, when you got Oscar the Grouch, Oscar is a cool name.
So I guess my point with all that is the Turks were kind of an interesting story, but it wasn't really well done. It was like, I don't care.
Yeah, it was kind of a side of the story.
It was like a C side of the story.
Yeah.
It's like a D side.
I don't even really care about the artifact that let them out of the yard. I mean, that the artifact wasn't.
No, but I totally guessed that it was from Pompeii.
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah, of course.
It had to be. Once she said Italy, I'm like, oh, it's totally from Pompeii.
They got a lot of volcanoes. Of course they do.
Bubble Guppy. And she's reaching over in her long shirt and a white shirt. Yes, I enjoy. Focus. She reached over and she shut the lid with her hand, with the finger, like that wouldn't be hot.
Right?
I mean, you have a little bit, all this gigantic lava in a little bitty cup.
I mean,
metal cup.
Your skin can withstand a 0.00001 second contact with hot lava.
I'm sure that's what it was.
And I burnt my fingers on steam the other day with my crock pots. No, I think it hurt. Bubble gum.
I was gonna say I have 2 little teapots that I do my tea in. What is it called? Steep my tea in. One has a kind of a rubber isolated little handle on the cover, and one doesn't. The one that doesn't, when you take the cover off, it's hot.
Or it reminds you why you should.
Yeah, if you're, it's just a small, like individual, like 20-ounce teapot, so it's not a big one. But if you're pouring it out, you have to hold on to the top, otherwise the water comes out the top. And yeah, my hand burns every time. So
yeah, I burned my fingers on my Instapot the other day. I had a towel over the top where the steam comes out, and I thought it had been sitting long enough, and I went to move the towel, and I got reminded why I shouldn't do that.
What kind of cow were you cooking in your Instapot?
Chicken.
Good chicken.
How much did that cost you? Like $25-$50, something like that?
No, I just buy
Yeah, chicken's prices are going through the roof because of the avian bird flu.
Yeah, kind of like bird eggs.
Yep.
Eggs.
A dozen eggs.
Eggs are going to be the new cocaine. Trafficking in eggs.
They're the new toilet paper.
The new toilet paper. How much you want for those eggs? I got a 50. Okay. But yes, I agree. Just barely touching that thing to close it. Yeah, probably not. But, bubble guppies. Had to shut it somehow because she had to pick it up.
And I'm glad that she's the one that bent over, not him. So, I mean, it was okay.
Yeah, I like how they set it up. Like, he goes over, can't get it, and like, okay,
I can't reach it. She's like, get out of the way. Let me do it.
Hold my legs.
Here,
I'll hold your legs.
I got you. I got this. Micah.
What are you thinking, Pete? I never think that far ahead.
Did they show where his head was when he was holding her? I don't think they did.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
PG.
You guys got anything else for this episode?
I do.
Okay.
So I was looking at my notes over here. When Claudia and Artie are in that house looking for the bust, and
I saw you. Squirrel.
PG. And they're going through this house. It looks a lot like the B&B. Like the solarium's in the same spot. When they're going up the stairs to run away from this guy. I'm like, they used the same set. The layout was the same because it looks like the same set. Now, I mean, obviously you're probably going to due to just budget and everything else. But it was funny to me because I'm looking at it going, that looks an awful lot like the Airbnb.
They would have to paint it white though.
I'm sure that wouldn't take much. But it was just funny to me when I was watching it. And then when they're up there and Claudia trips the guy. And then as he's falling over the railing and crashing to the ground because Artie's gave him a big old fist to the face.
Yep.
She shoots the Tesla at him. That's for my ankle.
Yeah, so...
But the house did look a lot like the Airbnb. I was like, this layout looks awful familiar.
I was a little bit disappointed in Claudia for not tasering him when he was coming at her. I mean,
right.
I
Why
would have
you
done
let her
that.
get so close?
Just taser the guy, the big Bluto, as
There's
she
no
called him.
paperwork involved. Just tase him. Exactly.
Yep.
Why? I was screaming that to myself. Cops, I'm like, why? Don't let him get that close. You should be backing up.
Right.
Or, just drop him like a sack of taters.
I understand that she's not trained for field work. That's a
But
given.
she's been doing that long enough.
Yeah, it's like just shoot, ask questions later.
She saved the world a couple of times.
She has,
Right.
but I mean,
He
she
should
could
know
have
better
been
than to
killed.
let people come at him.
He could have pushed her over that railing.
Yeah. He could have.
All right. Anything else?
Oh, food. The only food that I saw in this one was when they were in the diner and Pete was eating something out of a bowl. He's like, what? It was right
cobbler.
there.
It's like
And I don't know what
It was cobbler? It looked like a pot pie to me, but I didn't.
It was either that or like a cobbler or something, but Micah
just
did take a
because
bite of it too.
Cobbler sounds good to me at the moment.
As I make Shannon hungry. But that was the only food that I saw in this one. I didn't see anything else. Oh, and there was a Klingon reference because they were trying to decipher the poetry.
That sounds Klingon to me.
And as he was moving letters around, he made this big gibberish sound, and Pete was like, sounds Klingon to me. So we've got a Star Trek reference.
We should have several artifacts. The Garcia lamp.
Yep. There's several. There's the Pompeii amphora. Whatever.
Yeah, it was like a vase that had a lid on it.
Yeah. There's the clock, Beethoven's clock. There's the password decoder. I don't know if that's an artifact or a tool.
No, it would.
Why is this my fault?
It's called contraband.
There's the black bulb, Jerry Garcia's black bulb. There's the bouncing ball. Leon Panetta's projector was in there. Sight-giving keyboard. The black keyboard. It distorts projected images based on the personal beliefs of the user, seen on the same shelves as the clock.
Oh, I see. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Sequin jacket, punk jacket, and statue of Zeus.
Must have been on the shelves as well.
Yeah. So that's the artifacts that were in the episode. Unless I'm missing
I think it was
something.
A good episode.
It was.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good episode. We get more growth of some characters.
Yeah, where do you think I ranked it? 1 to what are we at now? 54, I believe. 1 to 54. Where do you think I ranked?
Damn, that's a high number. Are we at 54 episodes already?
54 episodes. There's a total 64, so there's only a few left.
Oh, so sad. You make me sad.
Again, for the many times I've gone around, I would say 20.
20?
That's a good number. I'm gonna go with.
I picked it.
30.
30. 20 and 30. Well, guys got to split it because it was 24.
Oh, I almost said 25, but I didn't want to be in the 20s because Shannon picked 20.
So 23 is for the team and 25 is second chance. So fit it right in there. I thought it was good. You got a good Jinx backstory. You got a good Claudia moving forward thing. You got the birthday and you got the cherry bomb, and you had a lot of good things, but also that whole story, for lack of a better term, it's like, I don't give a crap about this at all. It was simply there to get the U.S. Marshal. Yeah, it was only there to get the Marshal.
Care about anything was happening in the prison. It just brought all of them together.
And that's okay. It wasn't a bad episode. It just wasn't a top episode. This could have been a lot better, and it just wasn't.
And I think this one of the very few episodes where you see the bad guy actually getting arrested, because normally they don't care. Like, we're not here for that. This gives artifact. But because Liam was there. He had to go back to prison.
I think there was an extreme destruction of some property that led to that.
Like, I think that.
Yeah,
There'd be
like
some
molten
paperwork
lava.
going on here.
There was also deaths.
Yes. Oh, that was the other funny part that I was going to say that just reminded me of this when we did it. When they went to the diner looking for the guy who had escaped, and he was looking for this Chris character, and he melted somebody into a big pile of lava. And the waitress, the gal that worked there, she's like, what makes somebody do that? I mean, how does this happen? And Pete's like, global warming. Please recycle. I'm like, global warming? That's what you came up with? Global warming. Don't forget to recycle. that made that part
Him and
made
his
me laugh.
one-liners makes you wonder how many of those are Pete and how many of those are just, Eddie. I think there are a lot of Eddie.
I think there are a lot
sure.
of Eddie, yeah.
There were a lot of Eddie. It makes you want to go through and watch the outtakes to see what he comes up with every time. Like, was global warming the first one that came up with? Or did he come up with something else? And then he was like, now global warming was the funniest.
I don't know where to find the behind the scenes stuff. I'm guessing that they're on the DVDs, but we don't have
Maybe.
those.
I have all the DVDs. I thought.
Yeah, let us know if there's behind the scenes stuff there, because I'm not seeing it on Amazon. It might be on Amazon, but I just don't see it.
I remember seeing outtakes for, I think, the season 2 ending where they're in Egypt on the pyramid. Because the outtakes that I was watching, they were all laughing because he was talking about the pancake game that he play every weekend with his dad, whatever. And they were moving those big pillars. So I remember seeing the behind the scenes of like looking down and pretending like the floor was missing or looking up because of pillars. But there's got to be some. Oh, yes. I'm going to find them. I'll post them.
Okay.
Yes, we will. You'll have to report back next week.
I remember seeing one of Michael falling and having, she was kept blubbing over her lines and she's like doing this. I'm like, focus.
I know I've seen a lot of dark matter ones because Joe Malazzi had posted them a lot on his Twitter. And the dark matter ones are just hilarious because they do that a lot too. Blah, 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 blah. Oops, sorry. Blah, blah, blah.
I was thinking of y'all last night. We were watching an episode of Vampire Diaries and the woman that plays the sheriff that told you looks like Amanda
a lot
Tatten.
like
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
They were like spitting out some kind of like science. And she's like, oh yeah, I was good at the science fair. I'm like, so is Amanda. So is Agent Carter. This is unreal. They don't spit out science for me.
Right. I don't know if those videos are still available on the X.
Which videos?
The Joe videos that you were talking about.
Oh, I don't know if he has them up still on, because he posted them on his profile, so you might be able to find him on his profile. I don't know.
There's so many people that have deleted their profiles and.
Oh no, he's still there. He posts about stuff all the time.
Okay. There's so many people that have deleted their history like 6 months ago and longer and stuff.
Oh, I don't.
So, yeah,
I don't think he's done that, but sure.
Okay.
You can also see him on his blog. He has a blog, so you can go on his blog.
There you go.
He has a daily blog. It's really fun to play people to watch.
Hey, Shannon.
Yes.
Did you receive any email this week?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, yeah, I don't think you did. So
I don't think I have.
Not even a review?
No reviews, nothing on YouTube,
Negative.
no emails.
Ghostwriter, nothing.
Yeah.
Nobody loves us anymore.
Aww.
I know, it's very sad, especially since we're coming up at the end.
Well, did we go through all the emails we have? Did we read them all?
Yes, we have.
We did.
Look, folks, we only have a few more of these left, so if you want to get your 2 cents in on the Warehouse 13 or our podcast, good or bad, go ahead and email us, warehouse13fancast@gmail.com. That's warehouse13fancast@gmail.com. And I apologize for sounding a little bit different this week. I have had a cold, so I'm also stumbling over my words because my tongue is not working so good.
He has a cold. He has a cold in his nose.
My tongue is sucked.
My cold in my nose.
All right.
Well, it's been cold where you are, so I can only imagine you have a cold.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been
and a little stressful. The world has been a little stressful lately.
Yeah, we might have some outtakes about that. We'll see. Anyway, next time we're going to be watching season 4, episode 17 of Warehouse 13, called What Matters Most. Shannon, it doesn't matter, so I'm just going to roll into it. When residents of a posh gated community start getting affected by a mysterious versatile artifact, Micah and Pete investigate.
Ooh. That sounds ominous.
I think that's the one where like his legs get broken or something out in the front yard. You remember that? Where it was like makes you something about makes you have fears, and it's talking about him being an alcoholic, and he tells Micah the story of I don't know. I think that's the episode we're talking about.
I guess we'll find out.
Next one after that is going to have a good guest star, so we're going to roll into that. And then just to be honest with everybody, we're going to take a break of at least a week before we get into the last 2 episodes of this season, because we're just going to need to take a week of break. One of us is not going to be here. So I wasn't calling you out. You didn't have to say anything.
I'm going to go see my Pookie. That's what the girls call her.
Pookie.
My Pookie.
Okay.
That's what they called it. Yeah. My Pookie.
You always get to go on the fun adventures. Never get to go.
This one's not a fun one. I'm flying out to Jacksonville instead of Orlando like I normally do.
Yeah.
And then the very next morning at 8:00, she has surgery. So
okay.
Yeah.
Just
well, hopefully it all goes well.
Yeah. Just make sure you don't fly through Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be a stretch.
I have not had a chance to delve into that whatsoever, but I'm very thankful that everybody on board survived. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But that was why did that happen? Why? I mean,
I'm
first of all,
caught up in the DC flight.
Yeah, that's pretty bad too. Although, yeah, okay, we'll not go any further on that.
Let's just not with that.
All right.
On a positive note.
we're gonna watch What Matters Most next week, and it's gonna be fun. So until then, I'm the warehouse janitor, SP.
This is Sci-Fi Girl.
This is Ocean 363. Want to go get some cobbler now? Yeah.
Next time.
I like cobbler.
Okay.
I want
Peach?
pot pie.
Mike in a white t-shirt. She could even have the gun. I didn't say that, Sasha. Actually, yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I didn't see
I'll
that,
bring her
Sasha.
over.
Sasha.
I can bring her over.
Sasha was probably thinking it too.
Thanks for joining us for an episode of the Artie's Addict Warehouse 13 Fancast. You can find all our episodes at warehouse13fancast.com. If you'd like to contact us, you can hit us up on our email at warehouse13fancast@gmail.com. We are a part of the Lone Wolf Podcast Network. You can hear more of this cast and other shows like it by checking out lonewolfpodcasts.com. The intro music is Sci-Fi Hybrid Intro by Soundmake, and the outro music is Science Fiction by Tunes to Go. Both were purchased on pond5.com.
Is this thing on? Hello?
All right, so I've got you at your good resolution, so you're not fuzzy. However, we'll see how long that lasts. And if we have problems with it, we'll have to revert back next week.
Okay.
But you should be good, Miss Jeep Girl.
That
Jeep picture was pretty funny.
The one that looked...
the one he's mad?
Yeah.
Yes. The one he's
covered
mad.
me with snow. Don't like snow.
I don't like the snow.
By the way, this Toyota notification.
Yeah.
Dear Toyota owner, at Toyota, we are dedicated to providing vehicles of outstanding quality and value. Right there, I'm like, okay, what's wrong? As part of our continual efforts to ensure customer satisfaction, Toyota would like to advise you of a voluntary customer support program that has been initiated for your vehicle. Weekend?
Oh.
What the hell was I thinking? Okay, so something's wrong with my vehicle. Tell me what it is.
What's wrong with your vehicle?
The customer support program provides coverage as it applies to brake, booster and brake booster pump assemblies on certain 2017 through 2019 model year Highlander HVs, which I think are EVs. Anyway, the specific condition covered by this program is related to certain internal malfunctions of the brake booster assembly. You're telling me my brakes are bad. Great.
Does that mean you have to take it in for like a recall, or
this is not a recall?
Or?
Yeah, that's in the Q&A on this. Where is it? Q&A. It says, "Is this a recall?" No, this is not a recall. I'm like,
oh, awesome.
So my brakes are bad, but you're not recalling it. Great.
My brakes are bad, but you're not going to do anything about it. You just want me to tell you how I feel. Let me tell you something.
I was watching A League of Their Own because it popped up on one of my VHS
That's a good movie.
tapes.
Love that movie.
And
there's no crying in baseball.
Forgot all of the talent that was in that movie. Oh my gosh.
Madonna, Rosie, Gina Davis,
Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
What's the sister's name?
Kit.
Yeah, Kit.
Kit, yeah.
Yeah, but she was played
what
by
is her name? Harry something.
Lori Petty.
Yeah, Petty.
Yeah, and even so Gina Davis's husband was in there. Bill Pullman. John Lovitz was the recruiter. David Stratham was the organizer of the league for the owners. I mean, holy crap.
I love Gina Davis. She should be on my list.
Why isn't she on your list?
Why isn't she? I don't know. I don't remember
I
who's
think
on
you
my
better
list.
add that to the list.
Gina Davis is even, I liked her in like the B movies that you would think of. Have you ever seen Cutthroat Island?
No.
Holy she's in Cutthroat Island and she plays a pirate.
Oh, I bet she looks good enough as a pirate.
And she's got Anthony Bourdain, I think, is in the movie with her.
All right. It just added her on your A team.
Who's my A team?
Well, it's most of your girls. Micah Baring. Micah, not Joanne. You have to make that distinction.
Yes.
Kate Beckinsale. Haley Atwell. Kat Burrell. Amanda Tapping.
But okay.
You were pretty adamant about it before. Okay.
Burnett, Amanda Tapping, yes.
Emily Blunt.
Sarah
Shashi.
You're going to take her off? Put Gina Davis right there. Sarah Sahi?
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm putting her on your B list. I'm not going to get rid of her.
Okay.
Tatiana Maslany.
She's pretty.
Melissa O'Neill, number 2.
No,
two boss.
Two boss.
Yeah.
Jamie Murray.
I have a theme, don't I?
A little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, so we'll get back to that. Bridget Reagan. Lucy Lawless. Gina Carano. Susanna Hoffs. Yeah. Susanna Hoffs.
Oh, yeah.
And then your B team, Catherine
Put
Bell.
Bridget Reagan on B team.
All right. You were pretty adamant of having her up there, but okay. All right. Catherine Bell, Eve Miles, Gates McFadden, Rachel Nichols, who's, I believe, on my list too. And then Sarah and Bridget.
I think
See, now you could put Katie Mixon on the B team.
All right. There's another one.
I think Gates is only the one that isn't blonde, isn't brunette.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking with Gina Davis. She's a redhead. Yeah. So you got a couple redheads mixed up in there.
But you do have a theme.
But I only have one blonde, and I'm like, But I like it when she's brunette.
That's true. You did say sanctuary.
She's sanctuary.
Sanctuary Amanda Tapping.
Yeah.
Not SG1.
There's this photo shoot one time she did, but she was in a dress suit. It's like a long pantsuit and stuff like that. And she had it was highlighted. She had like a reddish brunette color and a blue suit, blue eyes. Like, that's pretty Amanda Tapping. Carter, not so much.
You know how Google has questions for you down there? It says, why was Warehouse 13 discontinued?
Because stupid schmucks.
It didn't pull in new viewers, especially in the demographics which programmers were trying to attract. So after 6 seasons and 54 episodes, it was canceled. Note, the easiest way to tell that Sci-Fi is struggling cable company is to look at their advertising.
Why was Lena killed? In other words, Lena was removed from the Warehouse 13 not because actress Janelle Williams requested it, or because the producers behind the scenes didn't know what to do with her. Instead, they used her death to drum up more drama and excitement for the second half of season 4.
Yep, I just read that one too.
Yeah, I read that before already.
I said, schmucks.
Yeah, and I've constantly said that, and she wasn't in this episode either, but I've said that they leveled up with the character, and that is the character that Lena should have always been. They didn't need to change characters. They just needed to accent what her character was.
Throw around a little bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it was a good trade-off because you have Jinxie, and he was the fourth wheel that needed to be added to Claudia because she wasn't always going to be the teenage kid behind the scenes. She was going to be out in the field. And Lena couldn't have done that. So I get it, but still, you could have kept her as behind the scenes. I mean, Kelly Hughes, she's not going to be out in the field. So, I mean, why would you trade one for the other if you're not going to do much more with her?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's not going to be an agent. She's not going to be... Hell, she's not even the innkeeper for the B&B. She doesn't do breakfast. So, I mean, why?
Yes. Yeah, who goes and gets the groceries, man?
Because cereal's not going to do it.
I think she's learning how to do that right now, and that's why we didn't see her this week. Because you would think she would have been there for Claudia's birthday party.
Right. I mean, she is part of the team. She already
Hell, you think Mrs. F would be there, but you don't see her a lot either.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you would think Mrs. F would be there just because of the fact that it's Claudia and she wants to be, the caretaker.
I mean, is next week's episode Anthony Head?
Fun.
I never watched Buffy, but I know that he's the Paracelsus. And if we've only got, 10 more episodes left?
Something like that.
Storyline. And James Marsden's going to be coming back, and the girl that was at the horse race.
Yeah.
So they're all family. And then Micah's illness should be coming up pretty soon.
Yeah,
and
you could tell they were getting her pretty white in this one.
Yeah, exactly. They're making her look a lot pale, a lot more paler lately. Only because I've been through the series about 6 times, do I notice it now? But as a first-time watcher, you wouldn't notice that.
I didn't notice it the first time I was watching it. And you can also tell she isn't as sharp as she usually is.
What was it, ovarian cancer she had?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
It was bad cancer. So I've read a little bit about it because it pops up in the stuff that I research for every episode. And apparently, I don't remember this, but apparently it was bad, like bad. And then in season 5, in the premiere of season 5, it just goes away because who's the showrunner?
Jack Kenny.
Jack Kenny was like, yeah, that's not the story we wanted to tell. So we just left it by the side.
See, here's the funny part.
It was an artifact. Got rid of it.
Well, see, actually, you'll laugh at this because back then I had just discovered fan fiction, and I just discovered Jag fan fiction in a Warehouse 13. I'm like, oh my, let's try this show. And I type, I'm like, oh my God, there's so much, right? I had just started really getting big on Twitter. I had found the fandom people. I had found the Burying of Wells people. So between, and it's been so many years, right? So
and
between what was
did.
actually aired.
I forgot her original Twitter. You were so closed off when Twitter first came out for years. I remember that. Everybody's like, is Sean married? What's his wife like? Stuff
I wasn't on Twitter very much.
Yeah, you were hidden.
Then I discovered it. Yeah, I mean, I do remember that. They didn't think I was real. Here, present, but because it's been so many years. Looking back now, I have memories of storylines, but I'm like, was that in the show or was that fan fiction?
Or was that the thing I read?
Because there's been so many fan fiction stories talking about how HG came back and saved her with an artifact. I'm like, that would have been great storytelling.
That would have been a good storyline.